Hello students, welcome to Unit 3 Notes, Lesson 4. This is the last lesson for Unit 3. It's on IXL B8 perpendicular bisector theorem. So the perpendicular bisector theorem states that if you have a line or a line segment and it is cut by a line that is perpendicular and these pieces are congruent, then these pieces are congruent. All right? And vice versa. So if these pieces are congruent, then these pieces are congruent, which means that they equal the same thing. So what I'm looking for to be able to use this theorem, I'm going to put this note. I don't have much room. To use the theorem, you need 3 out of 4 pieces of information. And that information needs to be have to do with congruence. Okay? But you need 3 out of 4 pieces of information. To use the theorem, you need 3 out of 4 pieces of information also to determine congruence. I'll explain what that means. Okay? And what does it mean to bisect? Bisect means to cut in half equally. So we're cutting something in half equally. So let's take our first example. FG, it says FG is equal to GH is equal to 39. So FG here is 39, and so is GH. So that's what I meant by 3 pieces. So far, they've given me 2 pieces of information. And we know that these are congruent because they're both 39, so I put tick marks in for them, okay? So these are both congruent at 39, and so that's the also to determine congruence. So far I got this going on, okay? And EF is over here. EF is 30. EF is 30. So because we have these 2 pieces that are congruent and they are the matching pieces, so I'm going to put matching pieces are congruent. So matching pieces are congruent. That implies that the other pieces are also congruent. So because we have this congruent to this and they match, it's not like FG is being compared to FE. And FG also isn't being compared to EH. If you look at this, it is the matching pieces. These 2 are the matching pieces, and then these 2 are the matching pieces. So because of that, 30, this one also has to be 30. Okay, and that makes EH 30 length. Okay, so now the matching pieces are congruent, and that's what my third piece was. So to use the theorem, we need 3 out of 4. They gave us these 2, and then they gave us this third piece. But we also had to determine the congruence. So these are congruent, and these are the right ones to be congruent. Therefore, these base ones were congruent. Okay, so in this next one, we have 37. We have 37. These are congruent. Therefore, these are congruent. So this one has to be 58. So ST is equal to 58 units. All right, it gets pretty easy, right? So here it says GH and HI are congruent. So GH and HI are congruent. And that must mean now that GJ and JI will be congruent. Well, JI, they said, was 51. Now notice I don't have values. I have no numbers for GH, but it doesn't matter. GH and HI, I have no numbers for, but I put my tick marks in, and the assumption I'm making is that they're congruent because they tell me. So it's not really an assumption. It's a fact here. So IJ is 51. That has to be congruent to GH. So GH will also be 51. Okay. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, GJ. What am I doing here? What is it asking me to find? It's not asking me to find, ooh, this tricked me. It's not asking me to find GJ. It's asking me to find GI. So together, these are 102. We have to add them together. Be careful. I almost made that mistake. So we have 102. Okay. All right. What's something else it could do? Well, it could ask you, can you use the theorem? I accidentally clicked the right answer here. The answer is yes. But why? Let's go back to what I said. To use the theorem, you need 3 out of 4 pieces of information also to determine congruence. So let's take a look. We have 3 out of 4. Ooh, you know what? We don't only need 3 out of 4 pieces. We also need, I'm sorry about that, we also need a right angle because we need a right angle. Why? Because watch this. Here you have 78 and 78, so you'd say, hey, Mr. Abernathy, these are congruent. That must make these congruent. Well, I forgot one more thing here. We can't have, whoa, hold on. I gotta pair this. Okay, sorry, I had to fix it. Let's erase all that. Oh, here's dots. Every once in a while it does that. It doesn't realize the pen's connected. So yes, we have 3 pieces, but what if we had a line and that line did that? You could still have XW would be 78 and YX would be 78, but look at that doesn't necessarily mean that this is 51 and this is 51. So we need a right angle as well. That's actually pretty much one of the beginning easiest things. I can't believe I forgot that, but yeah, because you have the right angle and then you have this is congruent to this, now you can use the theorem 51 and 51. Okay, so that is going to be 51 because you have a right angle and you have 3 pieces of information. So really you need 4 out of 5. Notice all the problems we did so far, right angle, right angle, right angle. All right, so let's do this one. Okay, we have 1 piece, we have 2 pieces, we have 3 pieces. What about we're missing a right angle here? So the answer to this one is no. We have no idea what WV is because there's no right angle. If there was, we could clearly and concisely say that that is 81, but we're not positive. All right, this next one, we have a right angle. Good. We have 1 piece. We don't have this, this, or this. We don't have 3 pieces. 3 other pieces of info. We only have 1. So the answer here is a no. All right. Next one. So it's going to ask you, use the theorem. Can you use the theorem? Then use it with variables. So here we have TQ is congruent to QR, so that's awesome. So in that case, the other two and we have a right angle, so we have this, this, and this. And they did give us more information, so we have all 5 pieces, even though 2 of them are variables. And so now I'm going to say 2P has to be equal to, because they're going to be congruent, 2P has to be equal to P plus 23. So take P away from both sides. P is equal to 23. Was it asking for P or for a side length? It was only asking for the variable P, so that is 23. All right, the next one, QR equals RS, so QR equals RS equals 96. Okay, PQ equals U plus 63, and PS equals 4U. Now I put the tick marks in because we know that 96 is equal to 96, which makes QR, it makes QR congruent to RS, which is 96. So that means that these are congruent. So this is U plus 63, and PS is 4U. 4U. Okay? So U plus 63 equals 4U. Take your U away. Divide by 3. So I get 21 equals U. What is it asking me? Find the value of U. Okay, I did that. So that is 21. All right, next we have that these are congruent. Awesome. Congruent, congruent. So that means this is congruent and this is congruent. So we're going to say that 3U plus 28 equals 10U. So take 3U away. We get 28 equals 7U. Divide by 7. We get 4 equals U. What was it asking me? Solve for U. Find the value of U. So U is 4. All right. The last one, I think that's our last problem of the unit. Be careful, it's not asking us to solve for U, it's asking us to find XY. Okay, so once I find U, I then need to substitute it in. So here we have WZ is congruent to YZ because they're both 73. Okay, and that makes these congruent, and WX is 3U, and XY is U plus 60. So I'm going to do 3U equals U plus 60. Take U away from both sides. I get 2U equals 60 divided by 2. U equals 30. Okay. Now it wants me to find XY. So XY is U plus 60. So I have to substitute in my 30, and 30 and 60, 30 plus 60 is 90. So XY is 90. Whoops. There we go. Oops, is 90. So you just have to go one more step. Okay? Just be careful. Here's the one thing I want you to be very cautious of. See this? If they ask you to label the whole thing, okay, let's say this was 20, and they made this one unknown, you can set both of those equal to the whole length. I don't know if they do that, But if you get to a problem and you're confused because it's asking for the whole thing, just ask me, okay? If it's asking for the whole thing and you get confused, just let me know, okay? Other than that, here is IXL B8 perpendicular bisector theorem. Okay, good luck.